Just before I start, the organisers today are saying that people are still marching into the meadows, and the estimate is one of the biggest marches that Edinburgh has ever seen, talking of up to 50,000 people have marched today. And we know that man, Donald Trump. I mean, what can I say that hasn't been said about him over the last few days, the last few weeks, the last few months? We have lots of names for him in Scotland. Bobag. We have baby Trump at the back. But Donald Trump is a racist who glorifies in obscene wealth, boasts of sexual assaults on women, has a cabinet full of white supremacists, Islamophobes and conspiracy theorists. He's a billionaire property speculator who claims to stand up for ordinary people, but he's a thug who's only out for himself. His speeches play with the lives of men, women and children. Asylum seekers, Muslims and immigrants are portrayed as threatening a civilized way of life and treated as the enemy within. We have celebrated his libel, not with hate, but with a carnival of resistance. With chants of no Trump, no May, racist, sexist, anti-gay. And we are proud of the fact that thousands and thousands have marched in Glasgow today, led by Lord Nicola Sturgeon, our First Minister, on the Pride demonstration. And whilst Donald Trump and Theresa May have slavered over their special relationship, I, for one, am not interested in a special relationship between the USA and Britain, which celebrates war and weapons of mass destruction. A special relationship that excuses genocide while serenading dictators with state banquets and arms sales. I'm not interested in the UK laying out the red carpet for a man who tears babies away from their mothers, whilst he backs gun ownership, which allows the repeated massacres of school children. But I'll say this, Donald Trump, the US Embassy and others told Americans to stay indoors and not to come out when the protests were on. But I am proud of a different kind of special relationship which exists between the people of the United States and this country. Through the generations, we have been inspired, empowered, and moved by the American people. Your music, your history, your culture, your sport, and your spirit of resistance. We love Martin Luther King. We love Muhammad Ali. We love Malcolm X. We love Noam Chomsky, Bob Dylan, Billie Holiday, Marilyn Monroe, Jimi Hendrix, Dolly Parton, Bruce Springsteen, and even Britney Spears. And Rachel Corrie, and Heather Hare, and many, many more, whose names will live on long after Donald Trump's name has turned to dust. We are inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement, by the Civil Rights movement, by the LGBTI movement and the history of Stonewall. Inspired by the American footballers who kneel during the national anthem for those murdered by a racist police force. So no, Donald Trump, we will not take lectures from you. We will not welcome you. We will not hold your tiny groping hands. Nor will we keep silent as you cage terrified children and force toddlers to address judges in court. But remember, in this country, Theresa May operates a barbaric immigration policy where 15,000 children grow up without seeing one of their parents and deports asylum seekers to their death or persecution. Donald Trump, we will not be silenced when you, a son of an immigrant, married to an immigrant, in a country built by immigrants, tells Europe that its culture is being stripped by immigrants. We stand in solidarity with our American brothers and sisters And whether they are here today in Edinburgh, Turnberry, Los Angeles or Charlottesville, when Trump tries to build a wall, we will tear them down, we will resist you, we will unite, and we will defeat you. And I want to conclude just by saying one last thing. On the 30th of July, we go to court for Professor Clara Ponsati, who faces extradition to Spain. If convicted, she faces 33 years in prison if she is sent to a prison in Madrid. So I urge you to support the campaign to defend Clara and the Vigil Household Court. Thank you so much.
In terms of the numbers on this demonstration, of course there's actually thousands of people who are now away to cafes and to enjoy the rest of their afternoon, but we think we would fill Parkhead. So we're going to say 60,000 people have taken to the streets today in Edinburgh from all across Scotland to say no to Donald Trump. So I just want to make a few points. The first is that lots of people have been asking us, why are you marching? Does Donald Trump care? And so on. Well, there's a few reasons why today is really important. If you feel that you're under attack by his racist rhetoric, if you feel that you're under attack because of his sexist views, then this is a message of solidarity. If you look in despair at your social media, if you look in despair at the mainstream media often when it talks to Nigel Farage time after time after time again, then today's about saying we're changing the tide, we've drawn a line in the sand, we're going to turn back the racists and the fascists, they're not going to win. And this demonstration and the demonstrations that took place yesterday are being beamed into every single American household. Every single of those millions of Americans who wants to oppose Donald Trump looks on and says, we can do that too, we can resist Donald Trump here in the United States. And we've been inundated, absolutely inundated, with American messages from people saying, thank you for demonstrating, thank you for standing up to our president. And when it comes down to it, it's about this. There are people here from many different political backgrounds, a range of political parties, a range of political views. But what this is about what's fundamentally right and wrong for our society. It's wrong that we blame immigrants for a system that can't provide us jobs. It's wrong that we blame immigrants when it's Theresa May who's cutting the NHS and our public services. It's wrong that we blame immigrants when it's Theresa May and her system which keeps us poor and a tiny privileged elite rich. And in that sense, the weapon that we've got is solidarity, is unity, is maximising our diversity. I was thinking the other day, when Steve Bannon was on ITV Breakfast with Piers Morgan. You see, they all work together, these people. And thought to myself, his job is easy. All he has to do is to stoke division. And all he has to do is to stoke division that's come after decades of the right-wing media scapegoating everyone but those who have committed the crimes in the first place. They've got it easy. But when you see a demonstration like this, linking up with those in America and across Europe, that is their kryptonite. They cannot argue when people come together. When we pull down the mask that says we should blame Muslims or immigrants, then they have nothing left to say. They have no answers for jobs, they have no answers for trade, and they have no answers for how to make a decent society, and that is why we're going to win. And the last point I want to make is about what we do now. There's one area where the far right are currently dominating, and we need to think about this. It's social media. They have on social media a propaganda operation which reaches millions of people with their lies, and dare I say it, with their fake news. We have to make sure that the legacy from these demonstrations is that when we're on social media, we are going to make the racists scared again. When we are on social media, we are going to make sure that Paul Joseph Watson, that all of these cretins who have been getting away with it for too long are going to be challenged. We are going to build our own social media that is going to come to dominate the arguments. Because if we don't do that, because if we don't win this battle, then what's around the corner coming very soon is very bleak indeed. So from this demonstration, resolve this, that on every front, in your community, in your workplace, in your schools and colleges, on your social media, in your interactions with your friends and family, that you are going to argue our politics of decency, stand up for Muslims, stand beside immigrants, stand up for women under attack, stand together, diversity showing our strength, and send the racists packing. They've had it for too long, and now we have turned the tide. Let's make sure we win.